In the vast halls of the Central Galactic Archive, Senior Archivist Vex 427 stared at his holo-display with growing concern. After 3 centuries of cataloging countless worlds, he had never encountered an entry quite like this one. The screen before him displayed a simple warning in pulsing red text. Classification. Extreme caution. Don't even think about it. The planet in question was a seemingly unremarkable world in the Orion spiral arm, Earth. By all standard metrics, it shouldn't have warranted more than a footnote in the database. A Class M planet orbiting an average yellow star, populated by a species that had barely achieved spaceflight. Yet here it was, bearing the highest danger classification in the known galaxy. This has to be an error, Vex muttered, his secondary eyes blinking rapidly as he reviewed the file again. Most dangerous worlds came with extensive documentation, detailed analyses of hostile environments, aggressive species, or natural hazards. Earth's entry contained none of that, just the warning, and a series of incident reports marked as classified. Vex's curiosity got the better of him. As a senior archivist, he had access to most of the galaxy's accumulated knowledge. He began digging deeper, accessing sealed records and cross-referencing incident reports. What he found made his crystalline exoskeleton vibrate with anxiety. The first red flag was a standard exploration mission from 50 years ago. The Mindseeker, an advanced research vessel, had approached Earth to conduct routine biological surveys. It never returned. The only transmission received was a garbled warning about unprecedented adaptation speed and weaponized curiosity. Another report detailed a Clavix trading company's attempt to establish a covert observation post on Mars. They had used their most sophisticated cloaking technology, certain that the primitive humans wouldn't detect them. Within a week, multiple human space agencies had launched routine missions to Mars that just happened to pass directly through the trading post's location. The Clavix abandoned the post, but not before noting that the humans had somehow detected their presence, despite supposedly lacking the technology to do so. But it was the psychological assessment reports that truly disturbed Vex. Most species followed predictable patterns. They evolved, developed technology, and expanded based on clear cost-benefit analyses. Humans, according to the reports, didn't seem to grasp the concept of impossible. When faced with obstacles, they didn't retreat to reassess. They became more determined. They didn't wait for technology to naturally develop. They imagined what they wanted, and then forced reality to comply through sheer stubbornness. One xenoanthropologist's report particularly caught Vex's attention. The humans have a concept they call science fiction. They imagine technological capabilities far beyond their current means, then treat these imaginings not as fantasy, but as challenges. They dream of faster-than-light travel, and rather than accepting its impossibility, they simply assume they haven't figured it out yet. This combination of imagination and determination makes them uniquely dangerous. Vex was so absorbed in his research that he didn't notice Director Ashnine entering his office. The director's carapace was painted with the distinctive silver markings of the High Council's Security Division. Fascinating reading, isn't it? The director's voice caused Vex to nearly jump out of his exoskeleton. I see you've discovered our peculiar neighbors. Director, I was just reviewing some anomalous classifications. No need to explain, Vex. We've been watching your queries. Tell me, what conclusions have you drawn about these humans? Vex considered carefully before responding. They seem to operate outside our understanding of technological and social development. They don't just adapt to overcome challenges, they actively seek them out. It's as if their entire species treats the impossible as merely temporarily inconvenient. Precisely. The director's mandibles clicked in approval. Which is why the Council has adopted a new approach. No interference, no contact, no attempts at control. We simply watch and wait, and hope they don't notice us too soon. But surely a species this dangerous should be contained, Vex suggested. The director's crystalline laugh sent chills through Vex's body. Oh, we tried containment. 3 times. Each attempt only made them stronger, more resilient, more determined. The last containment effort gave them the idea for something they call Space Marines. We're still trying to understand how they weaponized that concept so quickly. Vex looked back at his screen, at the pulsing warning that now seemed woefully inadequate. So we just leave them alone. Precisely. The humans have a saying, necessity is the mother of invention. We've learned the hard way not to become their necessity. Let them develop at their own pace, and pray they remain focused on their own challenges rather than ours. As the director left, Vex made one final entry in Earth's file. Note: species demonstrates unique ability to transmute imagination into reality through sheer determination. All standard development models inapplicable. Recommendation: maintain distance. Do not provide motivation for advancement. The warning remained unchanged. Don't even think about it. But now, Vex understood why. Chief Researcher Xena 8 stood before the Galactic Science Council, her tentacles rippling with barely contained agitation. The holographic displays behind her showed various scenes from Earth, each more perplexing than the last. Distinguished Council members, she began, our 6-year covered observation of Earth has yielded results that defy conventional xenological models. Humans represent a paradox that challenges our fundamental understanding of species development. The council chamber, carved from living crystal deep within the galactic core, hummed with anticipation. After the loss of multiple observation teams, they had finally managed to gather comprehensive data about humanity through long-range observation and careful analysis of their information networks. Let me begin with their physical capabilities. Xena continued, activating a hologram showing human athletic achievements. At first glance, humans appear unremarkable. They lack natural weapons, possess moderate strength, and have no extraordinary sensory abilities. However, they demonstrate what we're calling selective evolutionary optimization. The display showed humans performing in extreme conditions, ultramarathons through scorching deserts, free diving to impossible depths, surviving in Arctic conditions. Most species evolve to excel in specific environments. Humans instead evolve to adapt to any environment. They don't dominate through specialized abilities, but through sheer adaptability. A council member raised a crystalline appendage. But surely their technological level limits their threat potential. Xena's color shifted to deep purple, indicating serious concern. That's perhaps the most alarming aspect. Humans don't develop technology linearly. They make conceptual leaps that bypass entire stages of what we consider normal development. Observe. The hologram shifted to show the history of human flight. In a single century, they went from primitive powered flight to breaking their planet's gravitational bonds. For comparison, the average species takes 4 centuries to make that transition. But more concerning is how they achieved this. She highlighted various human innovations. They don't wait for natural technological progression. They imagine what they want: faster ships, stronger materials, more powerful energy sources, and then they simply make it happen. They call it innovation, but it's unlike any innovation pattern we've observed in other species. Another council member interrupted. Surely this is an exaggeration. No species can simply wish technology into existence. That's exactly what makes them so dangerous, Xena replied. They don't accept conventional limitations. When faced with an impossibility, they treat it as a temporary inconvenience. Our psychological analysis suggests they possess a unique cognitive trait we're calling defiant creativity. The hologram showed humans working on various projects, failing repeatedly, but continuing regardless. Most species, when faced with repeated failure, eventually accept limitations. Humans view failure as data. Each failed attempt only makes them more determined to succeed. Xena's tentacles coiled tightly as she moved to her next point. But perhaps most alarming is their information-sharing methodology. Humans freely distribute knowledge, even potentially dangerous discoveries. When one human learns something, they immediately try to teach others. This exponentially accelerates their development rate. The council chamber filled with concerned murmurs as Xena displayed statistics showing human technological growth rates. They're advancing at approximately triple the standard species development rate, and this rate appears to be increasing. More concerning is their tendency to develop peaceful and military applications simultaneously. Every scientific breakthrough is immediately examined for both beneficial and warfare applications. They don't just develop technology. They immediately start thinking about how to defend it or weaponize it. It's as if they're perpetually preparing for a conflict they haven't encountered yet. Xena's final slides showed human entertainment media, science fiction stories, movies, and games. This may be the most crucial finding. Humans actively imagine future scenarios, including potential conflicts with advanced alien civilizations. They're not just preparing for current threats, they're preparing for threats they've only imagined. In conclusion, Xena's color shifted to formal green. I must recommend maintaining our current non-interference policy. Any attempt to control or limit human development will likely trigger their defiant creativity response, potentially accelerating their advancement even further. The Council sat in silence, processing the implications. Finally, the High Counselor spoke. "How do you suggest we proceed?" Xena's response was immediate. "Continue observation, but with extreme caution. We must update our models to account for human unpredictability. Most importantly, we must avoid giving them any reason to focus their unique capabilities in our direction." As the council session ended, the High Counselor made a personal note in Earth's file. Species demonstrates unprecedented development patterns. Traditional containment strategies likely to backfire. Recommend classification upgrade from extreme caution to absolute avoidance. The warning remained, don't even think about it. But now it carried the weight of scientific validation. Strategic Director Kale X paced the length of the Containment Division's command center, his crystalline exoskeleton reflecting the red warning lights that had been flashing for the past hour. The holographic displays surrounding him told a story that shouldn't have been possible. "Show me the timeline again," he ordered. The AI complied, projecting a sequence of events that had led to their current crisis. It had seemed like such a simple plan 6 months ago. The Galactic Council, despite warnings from the Science Division, had authorized a subtle containment strategy for Earth. Nothing dramatic, just a series of carefully orchestrated natural obstacles to slow human expansion into space. They had started small, using gravitational manipulators to increase micrometeorite activity near Earth's orbital paths. The humans should have delayed their space programs, taken time to develop better shielding. Instead, within weeks, they had developed new radar systems to track debris and implemented something they called dynamic trajectory adjustment for their spacecraft. "Project the response pattern," Kale X commanded. The AI displayed a graph showing human innovation rates before and after the containment measures began. The line didn't show the expected decrease. Instead, it curved sharply upward. "They're using our interference as a testing ground," his assistant, Vela 7, observed. "Each obstacle we place in their path becomes a problem to solve, accelerating their development instead of hindering it." Kale X's secondary hearts pulsed with anxiety as he reviewed the next phase of their failed plan. They had introduced subtle electromagnetic anomalies around their Mars colonies, expecting to disrupt communications and slow their expansion. The humans had responded by developing new communication protocols that were more resilient than their previous systems. "Show me the current situation," he ordered. The main display shifted to real-time monitoring of Earth's space activities. What he saw made his crystalline structure vibrate with concern. The humans had not only overcome their obstacles, they had turned them into advantages. Their ships now used the increased meteorite activity as a natural camouflage, making them harder to track. The electromagnetic disruptions had led them to develop quantum communication systems decades ahead of their expected timeline. Director Vela 7 interrupted his thoughts. "We're detecting unusual activity in the asteroid belt." The display zoomed in, showing human ships moving with purpose through the debris field. "They appear to be mining our gravitational manipulators. Kale X felt his third heart stop momentarily. That's impossible. They shouldn't be able to detect that technology, let alone understand its purpose. They don't understand it, Vela 7 replied, her voice trembling. They just know it's artificial, and therefore worth studying. They're collecting everything that doesn't match their understanding of natural space phenomena. The implications hit Kale X like a plasma burst. Not only had their containment effort failed, but it had also provided humans with advanced technology to reverse engineer. Each attempt to slow them down had given them new tools to speed up. New data incoming, the AI announced. Human communications intercept, marked as significant. The room fell silent as a human transmission played. NASA Science Division update. Analysis of recovered anomaly generators has yielded interesting results. Technology appears to be artificial in origin. Recommendation: increase deep space monitoring and establish first contact protocols. Someone out there is trying to get our attention. Kale X slumped into his command chair. They think we're testing them, he said quietly. They've interpreted our containment effort as some sort of invitation. Director, Vela 7's voice was barely a whisper. The Council is requesting an update on the containment strategy. Kale X stared at the displays, watching as human ships continued their methodical collection of the very devices meant to hinder them. Tell the Council. He paused, choosing his words carefully. Tell them we've made a terrible mistake. Our containment strategy hasn't just failed, it's given them a roadmap to find us. He began composing his official report. Containment Strategy Assessment. Critical failure. Human response to artificial obstacles demonstrates unprecedented problem-solving capabilities. Species appears to interpret challenges as opportunities for advancement. Most concerning development. Humans have detected our intervention and are actively seeking its source. Recommendation: immediate cessation of all containment activities. Secondary recommendation: begin preparation for inevitable first contact scenario. As an afterthought, he added a personal note. The humans have a saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." We have inadvertently been making them stronger. May the cosmic core have mercy on us when they finally decide to say hello. The Council received his report within the hour. By the next day, all containment operations were terminated. A new note was added to Earth's file. Warning: species demonstrates inverse response to containment efforts. All attempts to limit advancement result in accelerated development. Containment strategies categorically forbidden. The original warning remained unchanged. Don't even think about it. But now it carried a new lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do to humans is try to stop them. Admiral Xenra of the Galactic Defensive Fleet stood on the bridge of the Stellar Dominance, the most advanced warship ever constructed by the combined races. Around him, the massive holographic display showed the positions of his fleet. 5,000 ships strong, carrying the finest technology the galaxy had to offer. Fleet status, he asked, his crystalline form glowing with anticipation. All ships report ready, Admiral. His executive officer replied. The humans remain unaware of our presence behind their moon. The Preservation Council had finally broken. After decades of watching humans advance at an alarming rate, after failed containment attempts and increasingly worrying reports from observation posts, they had authorized a preemptive defensive action. The plan was simple: demonstrate overwhelming force, demand human submission to galactic oversight, and end the threat before it truly began. Begin Phase 1, Senray ordered. The fleet emerged from behind Earth's moon, their massive ships casting shadows across the planet below. Their arrival was meant to shock and awe, to demonstrate power beyond human comprehension. Sir, his sensor officer called out, we're detecting something strange. Before Senray could respond, his communications officer interrupted. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast on all frequencies in perfect galactic standard. Impossible, Senra muttered. They shouldn't even know our language. Play it. A calm human voice filled the bridge. "Attention, unidentified fleet. This is Earth Defense Command. We've been expecting you. Your gravitational drives are similar to the technology we recovered from your failed containment devices. We've had years to study them. Your ships are impressive, but not unexpected." Senra felt his secondary heart skip a beat. "Show me their defensive positions." The holographic display updated, and Senra's crystalline structure nearly shattered from shock. Hidden platforms were emerging from Earth's moon, their design unlike anything he'd seen before. Satellites that had appeared civilian were transforming, revealing weapon systems that somehow combined galactic technology with human innovations. "Sir," his tactical officer's voice was shaking, "we're detecting thousands of small craft launching from Earth. They're energy signatures. They're using hybrid drives based on our technology, but modified in ways our sensors can't fully analyze." The human transmission continued. "We want to thank you for the technology samples you've provided over the years. They'd been most educational. We are transmitting a complete record of our defensive capabilities now. Please review it carefully before proceeding." The data packet they received made Senra's third heart stop completely. The humans hadn't just prepared for this moment. They had been actively working toward it since they first detected galactic interference. Every containment attempt, every probe, every piece of advanced technology they'd recovered had been studied, reversed engineered, and improved upon. "Sir, they're powering up their defensive systems," his tactical officer reported. "Their weapons, they're not copies of our technology. They've taken our basic principles and modified them in ways our simulations say shouldn't be possible." Senra watched as human ships took up formation around their planet. Their tactics were unlike anything in the Galactic Military Database. They moved in patterns that seemed chaotic, but displayed an underlying strategy that his combat computers couldn't predict. "Admiral," his science officer added, "analysis of their defensive platforms shows they've somehow merged our gravitational technology with their primitive nuclear weapons. The theoretical yield is concerning." The human transmission resumed. "We recognize your technological superiority in many areas. However, we've had decades to prepare specifically for this moment. You've taught us more than you realize. We would prefer peaceful contact, but we are prepared for any scenario. Your choice." Senra studied the tactical display, running scenarios through his strategic processors. The humans had taken every advantage away from his fleet. They had prepared countermeasures for technologies they shouldn't even know existed. Most concerning, they seemed eager to demonstrate capabilities they hadn't yet revealed. "Sir," his executive officer pressed, "your orders?" Senra made the only logical choice. "Stand down weapons. Open a channel." When the connection was established, he spoke carefully. "Earth Defense Command. This is Admiral Senra. We appear to have underestimated you. Perhaps we should discuss terms for peaceful contact." The response was immediate. "A wise choice, Admiral. We've prepared extensive first contact protocols. We look forward to peaceful dialogue between our civilizations. Though in the future, we'd appreciate more direct approaches. Hidden tests and containment attempts are unnecessary. If you want to know what we're capable of, just ask." Later, in his report to the Preservation Council, Senra wrote, "The humans didn't just prepare for our arrival. They used our own attempts to contain them as a foundation for advancement. They turned our caution into their advantage. Most critically, they demonstrated that they don't just copy technology. They improve upon it in ways we hadn't considered possible. Recommendation: immediate reclassification of Earth from potential threat to potential ally. They will advance with or without us. Better to have them advance with us." A final note was added to Earth's file. "Species has surpassed containment potential. Demonstrated ability to adapt and improve upon advanced technology. Traditional military action non-viable. Diplomatic contact strongly advised." The warning "don't even think about it" remained, but now it carried a different meaning. Don't think about opposing humanity. Think about befriending them instead. Grand Archivist Lyraval stood before the assembled Galactic Council, her iridescent form shifting through colors that reflected her complex emotions. 1 year had passed since the failed military action against Earth, and everything had changed. Honored Council members, she began, I present the annual assessment of human integration into galactic society. To say the results are unexpected would be an understatement. The vast chamber's crystal walls displayed data streams and images from the past year of human galactic interaction. What they showed defied all previous models of species integration. When we finally opened diplomatic relations with Earth, Lyraval continued, we expected a period of cautious technology transfer and gradual cultural exchange. Instead, the humans have revolutionized nearly every field they've touched. The displays showed various collaborative projects between humans and alien species. In medical research, human doctors had combined their unique understanding of adaptation with advanced galactic biotechnology, creating treatments that worked across species barriers. Their engineers had taken galactic drive systems and reimagined them in ways that increased efficiency by 300%. But perhaps most surprising is their approach to collaboration. Lyraval noted, we expected them to guard their innovations, as most species do. Instead, they freely share knowledge, actively seeking input from other races and freely offering their own insights. A council member raised an appendage. But surely this validates our original concerns about their dangerous potential. Lyraval's color shifted to a thoughtful blue. Actually, it reveals our fundamental misunderstanding. We saw their potential for rapid advancement as a threat. What we failed to grasp was their capacity for constructive innovation. The displays showed human-alien research teams working together, human ships joining galactic defense patrols, and human cultural exchanges spreading across the galaxy. Their greatest strength isn't their technology or their adaptability. Lyraval explained, it's their ability to imagine better possibilities and inspire others to help achieve them. They don't just solve problems, they redefine them in ways that benefit everyone. She highlighted several case studies. Human diplomats had resolved centuries-old conflicts by suggesting solutions no one had considered. Their artists had created new forms of expression that crossed species barriers. Their scientists had approached galactic mysteries with fresh perspectives that led to breakthrough discoveries. Most remarkably, she continued, they've maintained their rapid pace of advancement while actively working to bring other species along with them. They don't seek to dominate, they seek to elevate. The display showed statistics on collaborative projects. Worlds that worked with humans showed accelerated development rates. Species that adopted human educational methods demonstrated improved innovation capabilities. Even ancient civilizations found themselves reimagining possibilities they had long dismissed. We spent decades trying to contain humanity, Lyraval noted, because we feared what they might become. In doing so, we almost missed the opportunity to see what they could help us all become. She brought up the current galactic development indices. In just 1 year of open cooperation, we've seen more advancement in certain fields than in the previous century. The humans have a phrase for this. A rising tide lifts all boats. They're not just advancing themselves, they're advancing everyone around them. A senior council member interrupted. And what of their military potential, their capacity for warfare? Lyraval's color shifted to confident green. They've maintained their defensive capabilities, but their focus is elsewhere. As they put it, why fight when we can explore? They've channeled their drive for advancement into peaceful expansion and discovery. She displayed the latest update to Earth's file in the Galactic Database. The warning, "Don't even think about it," remained, but now it carried a new subtitle. Species demonstrates unprecedented potential for collaborative advancement. Approach with enthusiasm, not fear. In conclusion, Lyraval stated, I recommend we formally reclassify Earth from a monitored potential threat to a primary innovation partner. Furthermore, I suggest we implement what the humans call an open-door policy for technological and cultural exchange. As the council members discussed the recommendation, Laravel added her personal observation to the record. We spent so long worried about what humans might do to the galaxy, we failed to consider what they might do for it. Their greatest power isn't their ability to overcome adversity. It's their ability to help others do the same. The Council's decision was unanimous. Earth's classification was updated one final time. Prime category: Collaborative Innovation Hub. Warning level: Maximum opportunity. Note: don't think about what they might become. Think about what we can become together. The original warning remained as a reminder of their past misconceptions, but now it stood as a testament to how fear of the unknown can blind even the wisest to the potential for something better. The humans had taught the galaxy a vital lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is assume something is dangerous without trying to understand it first.